Hello, I'm going to be showing how to compile and run any C and C++ file in Atom when that file can be in any directory, anywhere, in disk C, disk D, desktop, doesn't matter. So normally the tutorials show you that to compile and run C and C++ files, you need to use GPP compiler. So when I tried to use this, I realized that let's try it. I had an error. So as you see here, this piece of code that I just run isn't actually in disk D, but this directory is wrong. So it can't find where my file, C and C++ file is. And also it can't get the name of my file correctly. Because of space, it can't get the name correctly. And I saw that there are some solutions on the internet, but it wasn't just convenient for me, and I just wanted an one button automatic compile and run. Let me show you what happens when you run a file that is in directory C. Normally it has worked for me, but I might have made it worse. So as you see, it still doesn't work, and this file was in my desktop. So basically, even if you can run some files with this way, you can't run some other files that are in some different directory. So since I have a lot of code that I don't want to move to C, I want to show you a different way to run any code. So I'm just going to disable this GPP compiler. We won't be using it. And we're going to use another package called process-palette. So process-palette made by Morrisman. After installing it, you're going to make ctrl-alt-P. Ctrl-alt-P. And this process palette window is going to pop up. The first thing we need to do is add a project folder. So in here, just for the tutorial purposes, I made a random folder. But let me say this beforehand. Where you make this setting file, the folder you choose to put that setting file is actually important. The more general folder you put it in, it's actually better. So what I'm going to say is put it in a very general folder, like in D, for example, or if you have all of your codes in some general folder, for example, it's this folder for me, put it in that. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to show what happens if you don't put it in a general folder and if you put it in some subfolders. Now we are going to click this pen button saying edit configuration. And we don't choose global configuration, we choose the bottom one, the project path that we just made. Okay, this is the screen that you'll be getting. So I haven't tried what these do, and I don't know if these work, but I haven't used them, so I'm just going to close them all. Then we're going to click add comment. And by the way, the adjustments that we are making here is actually written in some JSON file. For the namespace and action name, you can put some random names. Let's say demo and demo. You need to type this in the shell command. And for the working directory, you're going to be putting it here. So let me explain what this does. It compiles your C or C++ file in this highlighted place. It compiles it and makes an executable file that is in the same name of your C and C++ file. That's what it does. And after the ampersand, it executes another command. This is what that ampersand does. After this command is run. And it runs that executable file that we just made after compiling. That's all there is need to be done. We're going to say save, and it's saved. If you lost this tab, just Ctrl-Alt-P, Ctrl-Alt-P, and we see that the thing that we made isn't here. It's at the bottom, demo. And we're going to close this. And as you see, our button is here. This is the button that we will be using to compile and run our files. So let's give it a try. So this piece of code is in disk C, it's in my desktop, and pressing this button, it has compiled and run my file. This is a warning sign, but it isn't actually a warning. I realized that it gives this symbol, although that is not a warning, because I put a return statement in. For example, let me run it again. As you see, like, it gives another symbol. So it's not actually an error, or a warning, but I don't know why it does that. I'm just going to choose another file, C or C++ file, and I'm just going to run it too. And as you see, again, with just a click of a button, we could run this another code piece. So what you can do is you can drag or choose any code and use this button. But any detail that I have previously told you is this. For example, let's restart our atom, and let's say that we are going to choose a different file for the project directory. So I'm going to restart atom. I'm going to add another folder for my project folder. My JSON file is in that subfolder. Let's not choose that folder. Let's say the code that we want to work is in some other place. So I'm just going to choose a more general folder to see what will happen. I have selected this, so we were doing ctrl-alt-P to get our screen, and we are going to close this one. And as you see, we don't have our button here. Like, where did it go? So let me choose the project directory again. Let me choose to select folder. As you see, it has come back. So this is the thing that I'm trying to say. Place where you put this JSON file affect this button to be seen or not. So if you make these settings and put this JSON file in some more general folder, or in some folder that you put all of your codes in, you are going to get this button without a problem.